All right, C2C, Hour 3. We roll on as the Yankee game's about to start at Progressive in Cleveland. We're going to talk Texas and Georgia football first. We'll go to Austin and Roger Wallace, the great color analyst on the Longhorn radio team, also a sports anchor at KXAN TV in Austin, joins us. You can follow him on X at rwallacekxan. And you've had that gig for a while. What a fantastic job. I mean, I've been there. It's a great town. And I've been to that stadium. It's an incredible setting. If people bucket list stuff, they should go there to watch the Texas Longhorns play a college football game and then party in Austin afterwards. You'll never forget it. Roger, how much have you enjoyed that gig? As opposed to, you're on TV every day, but doing the Longhorn games, it's got to be a blast.
Yeah, it's fun, Scott. I started as a sideline reporter in 2004, and that's when it all really got going in the Mac Brown era. They win the Rose Bowl, and then they win the national championship the next year. And then, of course, 2008 and 2009. 2008, they were number one. 2009, they lose to Alabama. Kind of got the Nick Saban roll going there in Tuscaloosa. It's been a little dry the last 10 years, so this has been a lot of fun. And obviously this weekend, this is the one they circle. Scott, it's interesting with Texas's schedule in the Big 12 because you always have the OU game in Dallas, so you never have that as a home game. So sometimes the home schedule is not that appealing. That was certainly one of the things with going to the SEC. You knew you were going to have these marquee games in Austin, and this is the one everybody circled as soon as that schedule came out. And, oh, by the way, Formula One is also in this city. And this isn't New York City or L.A. This is a little smaller. To have a game of that magnitude Saturday and an F1 race on Sunday is pretty amazing in this town.
Yeah, that is crazy. I knew that they were having that Formula One race, and I got to tell you, I've been on the road a lot. I'm doing fights in Vegas and stuff, and they've had it there. I've watched it even in Vegas, catching flights at 5 a.m. where it's over in Europe, and they're racing early in the West Coast, and you're watching these races. That's quite a scene. That Formula One it's just gigantic. I never knew how explosively huge it really is. What a operation. The whole thing is crazy, and it's going to be in Austin this weekend. That town is going to be jumping. What is it like doing games at the Cotton Bowl, that legendary stadium in Dallas? Doing the Red River has got to be badass as well. And you really kicked their ass. I mean, they couldn't score. No one can score against this defense. They allow 6 points a game. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think of Steve Sarkisian's 2-2 against OU, and his 2 wins are combined 83-3. That's an anomaly in this series, to say the least. They've usually come down to a series or two at the end of the ball game. And you're right. I mean, Sark's an offensive guy, but defense has been leading the way, and that was what happened Saturday against OU. Offense couldn't get kick-started, but they didn't allow OU to take advantage of short fields and get out to a big score lead. They gave up the early field goal, first time they've trailed all year. But I think the offense will be a little bit smoother on Saturday. Quinn Ewers' second game back from the injury, and I'm sure Sark's been thinking about this game for a while against his buddy Kirby Smart.
Yeah, no doubt, Raj. I got to ask you, like, when the one thing I noticed about them is how tough they are. Like, they've turned the ball over in their own end several times this year. And I've watched their games. And every time they have a mistake, that defense comes on the field and stops whoever gets the ball. It doesn't matter where it is. Like, that's the difference between championship teams and just conference champion teams. Like, teams that can win a conference title, that's one thing. But when you get to a level like they're playing defensively, and they stop everybody every time they get anywhere near the red zone or near their end of the field, that's the difference between, real championship teams.
Yeah, I mean, think about OU. Their deepest penetration, other than the last drive of the game, was a 42-yard field goal, so they got to the 25-yard line. So you're right. Sark was asked about that, and all he could harp on is the fact that they are turning the ball over more than he would like. So, coaches always look at the negative, not necessarily the positive. So for him, it's more about we can't afford to keep doing this. And let's be honest, they have not seen an offense like Georgia. They went to Michigan. They're still unsettled at quarterback. They get Mississippi State here. They just made a quarterback switch. They get Oklahoma. They had just made a quarterback switch. So this is going to be from one end of the spectrum to the other with a guy like Carson Beck on Saturday compared to some really young guys and not great throwers.
Yeah, he's a great quarterback. I got to ask you one last question. We all know what he can do, but Texas has owned this football team. No one has beaten Georgia more than Texas. I know 5 games isn't a sample, but when you win 4 of them, it is.
You know, they beat them in that Sugar Bowl in 18. And you know, a lot of times around here, Scott, good turns into what just happened. And that was one of those moments because Texas beats Georgia and Sam Ehlinger gave the old "we're back" on the podium after they won it. And everybody latched onto that and kind of beat up Texas and Ehlinger for that statement. They haven't won 10 since. That was their first 10-win season since 2009. So I think Sark's done a nice job of making sure this team stays, right down the middle, enjoy the win, but move on. And Saturday will be this ultimate test. And then they got to go to Vanderbilt next week, and we know what that program has turned into this year. So really the gauntlet is starting now for this Texas team. We'll know a lot more about them in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 7:30 on ABC primetime on Saturday at Memorial. It's going to be awesome. Then that game in Smashville, that's going to be tough. I think it's great. I can't wait to see what they do the rest of the way and in the playoff. And then, frankly, I'm excited to watch Arch. I loved watching him play. When he got his burn, he was phenomenal. I think next year he's going to light it up, and Texas is just going to keep playing, I think, in big playoff games and possibly national championship games. Rod, you got the best gigs. TV, doing radio with the Horns down in Austin. You got all them pretty girls down there. You got it all in Texas, baby. It's great having you on Coast to Coast. We'll get you back on again. Have a blast doing the Georgia game on Saturday night. Thanks for coming on SportsGrid.
Thanks, Scott. Going to a high school game right now. We've got every level covered.
Those kids cheat down in Texas playing high school football. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Rod, thanks for coming on.